this. But good evening, good morning, lovely people. It is amazing to have you here this evening. And we are really honored to have you and excited that you are here with us and you have joined us from different parts of the world. I know we have quite a number of people coming from East Africa, and we love having you on board, and we are thankful that you have chosen to spend your evening with us. So this evening, we are honored to have quite an amazing conversation. But before we get there, allow me to do a quick introduction. My name is Grace Nzula. I'm an HR consultant from Atara Solutions. And you are tuned in to Get It Right with Atara Solutions. This program runs every Tuesday from 8 o'clock Kenyan time. And we have done this for the last 5 years. And we are very excited to have you tonight. And really, we have been doing quite a lot of learning. So if you want to catch up with what you may have missed, because these sessions are very impactful, you can visit our YouTube channel, Get It Right with Atara Solutions, and get to interact with quite awesome information in there, the learning that you can share with your people in the workplace and also for yourself. So your next trip in the car, please log on to Get It Right with Atara Solutions, and you will get to learn a thing or two. So Atara Solutions, I said, is a HR consulting and training company. We offer 4 services. We have HR manager outsourced. If you are in an organization that are not that is looking to outsource their HR services, or does not require somebody sitting there full time, they can outsource the function to us. And then we also offer HR consulting. If you're looking for an organization that will support you in your salary survey, job evaluations, review and update of your policies, then Atara Solutions should be able to support you on that. We also offer learning and development. We have coaching, we have team building, and this is where Get It Right with Atara Solutions also falls in. And we also do recruitment and selection. So those are the services we offer at Atara Solutions. Do not think twice. If you have a need, reach out to us and we should be able to offer you those services. Of course, on Get It Right, I do not do it alone. I am here with my co-hosts, and I forgot to.
Some people have really enjoyed the day. Like me, I've really enjoyed the day. As we wait for the rest to decide how their day was, we are going to bring to you the sponsors of tonight's episode, which is season 7. If you're in Uganda, whether you're Kenyan, whether you're Tanzanian, whether you're from Rwanda, whether you're from any part of Africa, and you want to enjoy something in Uganda, Nile Front Cottages is where you should be. Lovely, beautiful, scenic, idyllic. That is the place to be. Nile Front Cottages is the place to be. I think it is next to Ginger, around Ginger, the general area of Ginger. Then if you want to do psychometric tests for your staff or yourself, Profiles International are the specialists in EQ and psychometric tests, those psychological tests that people need to do so that they can be able to know who they are. Then if you are in Rwanda and you're consulting, you want HR consultants, K2 HR services are the people to talk to. And I can see my colleague, Catherine Sidandi, is doing an amazing job there. Then if you want to do some competence tests, some tests that tell you what are your strengths, Steadfast Quality Solutions is in Uganda, which is led by Herbert Zake, and he has done a lot of amazing job. He has really done a lot of assessment of around 500. Is it 500? He'll clarify in the chat. He has done a lot of tests to see how you're faring on in terms of competency, the competencies you are. Then if you are talking about issues to do with insurance, AAR are your people. Their slogan is, you are in control. That is when you choose AAR. Then if you're the coast, the place to be is Hotel Sapphire. The hotel to be is Hotel Sapphire. They have amazing coffee, tea, swimming pool. I've been there. They're lovely. They're quite lovely. If you want to enjoy the Mombasa stuff, that is the place to be. Then if you want to train in things to do with good work, those things that make the house look amazing, Panessa Training Institute are your people. Panessa Training Institute are your people. Then, if you're conscious about keeping some money, not eating all of it, Port Circle, they say they uplift life because they save your money, and of course, you'll get some premiums once you have invested with them. Port Circle. Then if you love food and you are in Nanyuki, and you want to enjoy some sumptuous food, especially the African, so Ted Kinyumbani are your people when you are in Nanyuki. They give you very, very, very Africanized type of food, and even their packaging is super, super, super. I have been there as well. Then let me see. Then if you love class, if you love enjoying some panoramic views of some place, there is a place to be in Nyanyuki as well. That is the Tufaa Resort, Tufaa Resort. If you need very good accommodation, very good food, very good swimming in Nyanyuki, Tufaa Resort is where to be. Of course, don't forget that the program of mentorship is going on. That is Growth, Grit Mentorship Program Cohort 2 is on, where you will be trained about HR audits, HR policies, HR budgeting, setting up a HR department, HR reporting, performance management, disciplinary and employee separation. And then you will do an exam at the end of this particular mentorship program. The cost is 24,000. The M-Pesa till is there, 9174897. I repeat, it is 24,000. The till number is 9174897. If you're in Uganda, it is 680,000, sorry, 402 shillings. The account is 011929246400. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that you need that mentorship, and it is on. You can catch up. Then there's this Africa Transformation Leadership Conference. It has 6 CPD points, transforming your organization and society. It will be between the 6th to the 8th of August 2025 here in Nairobi, Sarova Pan-Afric, Nairobi. It is 50,000 Kenya shillings. I don't know if our presenter has come on board. Claire, you can indicate that you have arrived.
I have arrived.
Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you've had a wonderful, wonderful day. I will briefly introduce Claire. Claire is a journalist. Claire is an event MC. Claire is also the latest entrant into the spirit of writing books. She will tell us about the book that she has written as she presents to us. Also, she's a digital editor at Citizen. She will tell us other things that are important in her branding. Tonight, we are going to know business unusual. It is about how artificial intelligence has affected the way we do business and the way we work. And she's the right person to talk about this because she has invested heavily in understanding artificial intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Claire Munde so that she can tell us business unusual, how artificial intelligence has affected the way we work. Come on board.
I'm so excited to be with you all this evening, and we're talking about business unusual. You know, AI is just revolutionizing how we work, and I'm so happy to be on this platform with Grace and you, Richard, and Catherine. And let me first start by saying it's an awesome thing you guys are doing here because not so many people have a sign language interpreter. So I really like the idea of inclusion in this platform. So kudos to you, Atara Solutions, Grace, and the whole team for making sure that everybody is able to participate in these conversations. So without further ado, Richard already introduced me. But I'd like to speak a little bit more about what I do. And that's what I do. So first of all, depending on how you know me, you may know me as a journalist because I've been practicing for about 15 years in the journalism sector, but my academic background is actually in HR, and I have a master's in HR and finance. So I'm happy to be in this space where I know there are a lot of people from the HR space, and I'd like to be as engaged as possible. So please go to the chat section and tell me what space you're practicing in, because that will also help me as I give examples about how AI is transforming the way we work. So are you in HR? Are you in finance? Are you in media? Whatever section that you're practicing in, please go to the chat section. And then Richard, you will keep telling me what sectors we are addressing so that we can make it even more informative. So yes, I have training in artificial intelligence, and that is specifically in the media sphere because there's so much changing. You know, we talk about deep fakes. We have to know what is real, what is misinformation, what is disinformation, and what is true information. So we have to be able to tell how AI is used ethically and when it's not used ethically. And in whatever field you are, you need to be able to discern some of these things. So I'm also the author of a book called Bounce Back Babe, which is an ultimate guide for women and moms who are also into their careers, how to get back to their fitness, how to take control of their finances, as well as how to get their mental health in the right space. And I'm also a moderator and an MC and speaker. Now, today, as we talk about artificial intelligence and how it is changing the workplace, I have come up with a WISE framework. So WISE is an acronym. We're going to talk about 4 areas that are going to help you ensure that you thrive in this changing workplace and you don't become a dinosaur that is obsolete. So you're able to move with the times. And the first one is workflow. So when it comes to AI, it is transforming how we work and our workflows. The second thing, the I, is insights are instant. So we're in the age where things are chop chop. Things come as fast as you would imagine. Then 3, the S is about skills and the evolution of skills and how you can remain relevant in whichever field that you're practicing in. And E is about engagement and what engagement really means in this age of AI so that you can thrive in your business. So the acronym we're using for today with Business Unusual with the era of AI is the WISE framework. Now, I can already see a lot of you are from HR, just as I had thought. So this is going to be relevant for you in HR and in any other sphere that you're on. So let's go straight into it. When we think of artificial intelligence, as I said, I like to have as much participation as possible. So please keep on going to the chat section and tell me what artificial intelligence means to you. Because some people, when they think of AI, they start thinking of the robots and things like that. Then there are people who think of AI in terms of like when I go to online shopping, it's when I get a suggestion, it's something that keeps on suggesting what I should shop for. So if I pick this color and then it picks for me another thing that is similar. That's AI. That's actually not AI, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But what comes to mind when you think of AI in 2 to 3 words? Just go to the chat section and we'll keep on going there to see what it's all about. Now, I can see already making work easier. Yes, I like that. Keep on putting what you think about when you think of artificial intelligence. Now, let's go to W. When we think about workflows, AI is transforming how we do our work. Now, before, there was a lot of manual things to what we did. Yes, things were automated, but AI has just taken it to another level. So before, it was about, okay, I'm using an Excel sheet to make my work easier. Right now, if you're using an Excel sheet, you're kind of in a little bit of a backward era. Of course, I know there may be auditors and whatnot. It depends. But now we're in the era of AI is going to make you move from tasks, administrative tasks, to strategy. So I don't know what you're practicing in. Are you an HR leader? Are you in mid-level management? Regardless of where you are, AI is coming to simplify your work, just as somebody in the chat wrote over there, to make sure that you move from these trivial tasks that are still important to make your organization work to strategy. So AI is supposed to make you work a lot easier so that you can now use your mind to strategize for your organization or for your business. And then there's that debate that keeps on coming up about, is AI going to take my job? And that is what makes some people resistant to change. You know, change management is a very difficult thing for some people. And it's because some people think like, oh my goodness, my job is no longer going to be needed because AI has taken it. But in case you have not heard already, AI is not going to take your job, but somebody who knows how to use AI is going to take your job, because they're going to be able to do things a lot faster, and they're going to be able to move to strategy and focus on the things that will take the bottom line of the organization to the next level faster than you, who is trying to do everything, including those administrative tasks that could have been done by AI. So remember this. If there's nothing you'll take out of it, is that AI is not going to replace you. It will only replace you if you do not know how to use it and use it ethically to make your work easier so that you can focus on strategy. So one thing I like to say, like I give examples when it comes to media. Media right now, things have changed, have evolved. So we moved from the point of print journalism. There was a time that newspapers were gold. Okay, so newspapers are not going to be eliminated totally. But right now we're in the era where breaking news is breaking by social media journalists. So we call them citizen journalists. You're no longer going to wait for your newspaper tomorrow to find out what happened today. So how do you stay relevant in this age? You have to be faster. You have to give something more. And that is where the strategy comes in. So like in my practice, I'm an editor and I also host a show called She Means Business, where we talk to women leaders in different spheres. Now, what happens is that these interviews can be 1 hour long. And what happens is that you have the video and then you also have to have the website article that comes with it. Now, in the ancient days, what would happen is that a reporter would they'd go and interview somebody, then the host or another reporter would now sit for over an hour analyzing that information and writing an article. Now, if you do that in this age, honestly, you're inefficient. If you're going to do that in this age, you're very inefficient. So what is AI doing for us? Now, what happens is that I'll go and do an interview. I'll interview a lady. She'll tell us her story. The video will go up, and then we will use AI tools to transcribe that video and get all the information out of that video and even get the best snippets of that interview. And then we can now write an article from that. Now, take note. Where the AI will not replace you is because you still have to have the storytelling element. You're not just going to tell AI, write an article about this. You have to have the storytelling element. So it will derive the transcript for you. But then after that, you have to be able to have the skills as a storyteller to write it in a way that will be appealing to your audience. Because you know what they say about AI? It is trained. it's machine learning. So they take information from left, right, center, and then they just give you something that may not even be relevant to the Kenyan system, to the African system. So you as a journalist, you're not eliminated because you know what your target audience as Kenyans want. So you see what I'm saying? It's not eliminating you, but it's helping you make your work easier. So it's giving you the text, and then now you fashion it in a way that is appealing to your audience. So always remember that you should not delegate AI to do everything for you. That becomes lazy, and to a point, it becomes unethical. So we need to address the issue of ethical use of AI and also making sure that you're not lazy about it. So transcribing is a time saver. And then we even have apps these days that can get the best elements of an interview or whatever it is that you want and even generate, let's say, posts for you. So it's not eliminating you because remember, giggle. You've heard of that word giggle. Garbage in, garbage out. So you have to have that intellectual capacity to tell it what you want so that it can give you the kind of information that you need. And that is why everybody needs some basic training on prompting for AI. You've heard that some people are using ChatGPT, and some people, the only AI they know is ChatGPT. By the way, let's go to the comment section. Tell me, what are the AI tools that you know? If you only know ChatGPT, just write ChatGPT. If you're aware of any other form of AI tool, please go and write it in the comment section. What are some of the tools that you know? Because there are some I can see. Gamma, good. You need to know. Some people are even only using a ChatGPT, the free version. My friend, if you're still doing that, then you are scratching the surface. There's so much that can be done with AI, and there's so much more to AI than ChatGPT. And that's not to say that ChatGPT is not good, but you need to know there is so much more to it. So you must learn about prompting, because once you learn about prompting, it will give you the kind of information that you want. So if you're in the HR field and you're trying to figure out what training program do my employees need, you need to be able to fashion your prompt in a way that it will give you something useful. Because if you're general, you're just like, oh, my staff members are unmotivated. All they want is higher salary. What kind of training can we do to make them understand that part of change management means that we might automate some things, but some people might become redundant, and how does that work? No. You will get a basic thing, you will deliver a substandard kind of program, you will get the wrong person to do the training, and so on and so forth. So prompting is a very important thing when it comes to AI, and that's why you need to educate yourself. And sometimes you don't even have to go for the paid versions of some of these things. There are very many courses that can teach you how to do that. So in HR, I can see Perplexity. I like this crowd. You are using different AI tools. So remember that AI is not going to replace your intellect. It is just going to help you manage things in an easier format so that you can focus on the things that really matter, strategy to take your organization to the next level. Then let's talk about insights. Because gone are the days, and I hope none of us is operating from the level of like, let's just give people what we think they want. No, that does not work. You remember back in the days of Steve Jobs, there was this saying that was attributed to him that people don't know what they want until you give it to them. And that was the formula he used to use when making his iPhones and making the upgrades and so on and so forth. That is no longer the case. People know what they want. And if you assume that you're going to give people anything and that they're just going to accept it, that's not going to work. So you need to use data. And this is where I say data is oil. It's valuable. But AI is the refinery. So all that data that you're getting, AI is going to refine it to enable you to tell, okay, what do my people need? If you're in HR, okay, you have all this data, you've done the surveys of what people want when it comes to trainings, what is making people leave the organization during those exit interviews. Now, AI is going to enable you to refine that to make sure that you are doing the right thing. So whoever is able to master how to use those insights is going to transform their organization. So make sure that you're not doing things from, I feel that this is what people want. So use AI as a tool to refine all that data that you're collecting. And that's where I say that you cannot just wake up today and say, oh, I'm going to use ChatGPT or whatever other AI tool there is, and I'll put a prompt and it will give me. You have to understand how prompting works. You have to understand how chains work so that it can give you the kind of data that you want. So we have done the W, the workflows. We have done the I, the insights. You must take that information that you're getting and use it to make the right organizational decisions. Then we come to the skills. Skills is what I'm saying, that you must always be evolving. Remember that, as I said, if you don't know how to use AI, you're going to be a dinosaur very, very, very fast. So skills are evolving. And I've seen a lot of HR professionals here. You must be champions of continuous learning and agility. You know that word agility? That's the key word anywhere, everywhere. And part of that agility is using AI. Long gone are the days that you're going to tell people, oh, you cannot use AI. You must think. No, no, no. As I said, AI is not replacing your brain. It's just making you get things together faster so that you can focus on strategic things. So you must have the principles in your mind first, and then you can feed the AI, and then it will help you. So like in media, right now, if you're not fluent in AI, you are going to be obsolete faster than you can think. As I said, no one is sitting anymore transcribing, listening with their earphones. Oh, this interview that Claire did, listening and then, no, that is not it. So you must be agile and you must be digital literate and AI fluent. So that means, what are the latest tools in your industry, in Kenya, in Africa, and the world beyond? As you know, Google came up with a tool where they're actually doing whole podcasts from articles. And we tested that in the newsroom that I work in, and it's pretty amazing. But listen to this. So you write an article. So for example, we're talking about business unusual, the era of AI. So this conversation that I'm having with you, they will take this, and out of this presentation that I'm making, they will come up with a 2-guest panel where they'll be having a conversation on business unusual, and it's a whole podcast, and it's amazing. It's pretty amazing. But then the problem comes is that AI is artificial intelligence. Artificial. Okay. So there are points that you'll find that, oh my goodness, this podcast is not making sense. That's why and where you come in. You cannot be replaced. So if you just use AI blindly, then we will at one point realize, oops, this is not making sense. So they call it hallucinating. So in artificial intelligence, there's a place where, because this is continuous learning, machine learning, it's bound to make errors. So there are times you'll find that AI hallucinates. So that is where it comes up with things that are not there. So there's a point you'll come, let's say you write, tell me something about the US aid cuts that Trump has initiated. So you write that, and then it will prompt you, it will give you information. And then if you're not going through it, then we'll bust you, because there are points that it gives you totally wrong information. You might find they'll tell you, okay, so Trump has pulled the plug on US aid, and now they're focused on America first. And now the vice president, Kamala Harris, is saying XXX. What's the problem with that statement? Go to the chat box. So Trump has pulled the plug on US aid, but Vice President Kamala Harris says that there is more to it than that. I want to see at least 2 people. Go to the comment section and tell me what's wrong with that information supposedly generated by an AI. Exactly, there, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is no longer the VP of the US. Okay, it has changed. But if you're just going there to get your information and you're not even thinking twice, then we will bust you and you will end up getting things wrong. So that's what sometimes AI does. It hallucinates. It does the wrong things. So it gets its own information. So that's why I'm saying it cannot eliminate your intellectual capacity. So that is where we are. So as HR professionals in this webinar today, I'm telling you, don't be anti-AI, but you must champion the ethical and proper use of AI so that we are encouraging our work people, our teams, to use it to fasten the easier administrative tasks so that now we can focus on the strategy of the larger organization. So please train your teams to be agile. And as an HR professional, you must lead by example. So you must start to learn to understand what this AI is about. So if you have never gone to ChatGPT, go and download it. Go and say, okay, how does this thing work? What is it about? And then remember, there's the ethical use. So make sure you're not just using it anyhow. And there's also the data privacy aspect, which I'll come to a little bit later, that brings a lot of people, makes them a little bit ish about using it. So we'll talk about that, but please use it wisely and it will make your whole life easier. So even in the newsroom, when we talk about headlines, as we said, there are different things that we know our audiences want. So sometimes you think, okay, this headline will work really well, but then in actual sense, it doesn't necessarily work well. So there's something called A/B testing. So we'll give title A, title B. And then AI will help us understand, okay, actually, this might work better than what we thought. So that is how it's supposed to help you make your life easier, but it does not eliminate the need for thinking. So I will still have to generate a headline, and then it will give me an analysis of what will and will not work. So remember, it's not eliminating you. It's just making you work a little bit faster and more efficiently. Okay, so let's be agile and let's embrace it. Then engagement, as I said, engagement is evolving. So we must be able to show up in different spaces and not think that we're in silos. So when we talk about AI enables you to use tools like chatbots. They are going to help you get your work very, very much faster. So now I was at a conference last week where I was moderating a session where they were talking about social commerce and digital commerce. And they were talking about, AI just makes things so much easier to do. So they were saying that initially, there was this organization leader. He was saying initially, the way their business model worked was that it was mostly they have a physical store and that had worked for them. And they didn't really understand how this social media works or the social commerce works. But then they realized there were so many orders that were coming along, but they were not able to fulfill them because it was just too much. But then they started to test using AI, chatbot assistants, to help them to answer the simplest of questions. And they realized that 30% of their revenues started coming out of social commerce because they took the time to get into the whole atmosphere of using AI to increase their sales. So even if you're not an employee, if you're a business owner, start thinking about how AI can make your whole business process a lot more easier. So I know of people who say, you know what, I have a business and there are so many things that I have to run, and I may not be able to employ a whole team of 3 social media managers, 3 people to handle X, Y, Z. But if you have the vision for your organization in mind, that's where ChatGPT or the other AI tools come in. So you feed that AI tool with the kind of things that you want, and then it's able to generate some of these ideas that make your life a whole lot easier. So when you go to Instagram or the other social media handles, you find some businesses are very, very active. So now they have a post on their products every other day, and you're wondering how are they able to manage that? And it's just a small growing business. AI is able to help you do that. So whether it's your organization, whether it's your business, get a content calendar. There are people who have content calendars for the whole month. So you have to talk about your product day in, day out. AI can help you generate the content that will help you put your position your product in the right way. And as I said, it will not eliminate the need for you to use your mind because you're the one who giggle. Garbage in, garbage out. So engagement is really made a lot easier with the use of AI. And then I always say you must humanize digital spaces because sometimes you look at some posts and you're like, oh my goodness, this is 100% AI. But that's where your mind comes into play. So you must still be able to engage. So if I come to your page, whether it's an organizational page or a business page, am I only going to be met by chat bots or am I going to be able to engage with an actual person? So that's where it comes down to balancing. You need to balance between the use of AI and still bringing in the human aspect. So as HR champions, make sure that you still are in touch with your people, whether it's the employees, whether it's the clients or the customers. So the WISE formula, remember, we have the workflows, we have the insights, we have the skills that are evolving, and then we have the engagement. Now, I want us to go to the comment section because I can see there's quite a lot happening there. And Richard, I want you to help me go through some of the comments there that people talked about what AI tools they're using and what are some of your concerns. As Richard goes through some of the tools that people are using, what are some of your concerns when it comes to the use of AI? Are you worried about it replacing you? If so, what do you feel you need to start embracing AI in a positive way? So I want you to go to the comment section and tell us what are some of your concerns when it comes to AI? And number two, what is the biggest thing that you would like AI to solve for you in your current situation, whether you're running a business or whether you're in an organization? Then we'll take those. So Richard, go through that. Then we'll go through the concerns people have and what they want. And then I'll go to the issue of data privacy and ethics a little bit more because we cannot eliminate that topic. Richard? Unmute. Unmute. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, all right. Dr. Selina has said ChatGPT. Then we have Chris who has said Siri and Perplexity. Alice Okuta has said Sizzle. I've never heard of that one. We have Brian who has said DeepSeek and Gemini and Evo 3. We have Lillian who has said OpenAI. We have Edward who has said ChatGPT. Alice who has said, that one I've not heard of it. Power. We have Lydia who has said Canvas. We have Doris who has repeated Gemini. We have Miss D who has said Cloud. We have Derek who has said Meta. We have Alice who has repeated Gemini. We have Faith who has said Meta AI. Gemini, we have ChatGPT, we have Canva, we have DeepSeek, we have Copilot by Patrick, we have Sol Mnoko, my friend, Gemini, we have Copilot by Loslin, we have Notion by Miss D. Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Yes. Then I'm seeing some of the concerns people have put here and what they want out of the AI. And here, Rosalind says, my greatest worry is data protection. Yes, so that is a big concern for very many people. So many people think that, okay, I start putting my information there and then they're just collecting it because it's machine learning. They use that data to train their machines and then they create whole personas. Yes, it's true. This happens. But there are safe ways to use different AI tools. Now, first of all, whenever you're using an AI tool, whether it's ChatGPT or whichever else that you're using, go to the settings. The settings generally tend to allow use of your information unless you go and change those settings. So there's usually a place where it talks about, do you want to lock this information? So whatever prompt it is that you're putting, it will usually ask you, do you want to lock this prompt so that it's not usable for training? Now make sure that you do that. So don't just use AI tools unintelligently because your information is going to be used to train machines and that's not what you want. So what you want is that you go to your privacy settings and make sure that it's not taking the information, the prompts that you use to go and train others. So before you start putting your information, remember to go to the settings and check, is this AI tool using my information to train for machine learning purposes? If it is, make sure you change those settings so that it's not doing that. If you do that, it's a lot safer. So we cannot say 100% that we're not sure that even when we put those settings, they will not use the information, but it's a start because if you don't put the settings, then your information is going to be used left, right, and center. So always go to the settings and make sure that your information you're not allowing for your information to be used. So that is how I say you put data protection. And then it also goes down to some things that you just have to do. So if you are not comfortable with some things being out there, don't put it in the first place. They say there's no secret between two people. There's no secret between you and the AI. So if it's a very personal thing, try not to go to ChatGPT or those machine learning apps, because you can never be certain. And I remember there was this trend that we're hearing that a lot of Gen Zs are using AI tools as their personal therapists. So some people, because they're unemployed, they're younger people, or they just feel like there's some things that they're going through that they don't want other people to know about, that they go now to their AI tool and ask them, okay, so I'm going through this situation. What would you advise? Try not to do that, because we can never be 100% sure how our data is being used. So try to avoid that. But as much as possible, go to the settings and try and tweak them so that your information is not being used. Then what else? What other question was I seeing here? When will Rosalind also says, when will lecturers embrace AI in colleges and universities? Now, this is a big debate. It's a big debate, because there are some lecturers who have embraced AI, and they even tell their students that you can use it to a certain extent. And then there are very many institutions, especially in Kenya, are still anti-AI. And there's always that tool that you need to put your project through, and they check if there's plagiarism, and very likely if you use AI, your whole document will be seen as being plagiarized. So now, the thing about AI and ethical use of AI is this. Remember, I told you AI is not supposed to replace you. You should still be able to think, generate ideas on your own. Now, AI is just supposed to smoothen the process. So if you're doing your work project in uni, you're not supposed to say, okay, my project is on change management in XY organization. Come up with a 10,000 word document for me to submit in my for my final year project. No, that is an ethical use of AI, because you're not using your mind. You're not going to do the research. So AI is just supposed to help you generate ideas. So these are three problems that I'm seeing a lot of Kenyan organizations facing today. Out of these three problems, could you suggest ideas for a project that I could do my project on? Then when it suggests project ideas, now it's up to you to go and do the actual research on them. So remember that the ethics still comes to play. So yes, there's a place for using AI in uni, and it's not yet been completely embraced in Kenyan unis, but there is a place for you to use it in a wise way and in an ethical way. So that's what I would say. Now, there are a number of questions when it comes to performance evaluation. That is a tricky one. There is the recruitment process, where a lot of organizations use it in terms of making sure that you get the kind of candidates that you want in the first place. But then there's also the whole idea of evaluation. Remember, I said that there's the humanizing aspect of AI. So you cannot replace performance evaluation with AI. So now, when we talk about performance evaluation, your boss knows how you've been performing, really. How are you going to tell an AI to evaluate someone's performance? Because remember, it's a one-to-one kind of conversation, kind of relationship. So what I'd say is that there are some aspects of your key performance indicators that we'll be able to tell that, okay, you did this right or you did it wrong. But then when it comes to the evaluation, to get a fair feedback, that's where the human element comes. So remember, the key performance indicators, did you reach them? That can be AI used a bit, but when it comes to the actual performance evaluation, you need the human element. Richard, which other question is there?
There is a question, I don't know if I'm getting it from Emily. She's asking, is using free AI without signing in okay, ideal, or is it critical to sign in?
Yeah. There's only so much that you can get when you're not signed in. Yes, you can use it when you're not signed in, but there's only so much that you can do when you're not signed in. So ideally, you should be signed in. And especially if you're doing a project where you do one thing and then you need to have a chain. So there's chain prompting in AI. So maybe you're doing a project on training, and so you did one step of it. So for you to get that information, to have a chain, and for you to understand who your persona is. So this is what AI tools can do. From the kind of information that you feed it, it will come to understand who you are. Who am I as Claire? Who are you as Richard? What are the kind of things that you usually look out for? So once you have done that, it's able to even make sure it's bespoke to who you are. So that's the advantage of being signed in, because it comes to know you as a persona, and then it can actually give you more accurate information based on who you are. So yes, you can use it without being logged in if you're very worried about your privacy, but then you may not be able to get the best out of it if you don't sign in. So ideally, you should just go to your settings and make sure that your information is not being taken. And I'd also like to add something on the use of AI in universities and lectures. I also see this when it comes to the book writing world. As I said, I'm the author of a book called Bounce Back Babe. And there are people who usually come to me and ask, okay, can I use AI to write my book? Yes, but we will know that you've used AI. So as I said, AI is not supposed to eliminate you. So you can use AI to generate some ideas, but then at the base of it, you still need to use your own mind to be able to write the book. So if you want to write a book like on HR, change management in HR, you can say, okay, you still have to feed it. These are the kind of things that are affecting Kenyan workplaces. So you feed that in. So from that, it can now give you advice, okay, what would be some good aspects to settle on? But then after that, it's up to you to write the book. You cannot now say, AI generate a book for me, and then you come and publish it and say, I'm an author. No, that's where I talk about ethics. So ethics, it's just supposed to be a helper. It's not supposed to replace your mind. Yes. What other questions are there?
The other question by Derek, it's not really a question. He's disagreeing on a certain aspect. If AI learns through prompting and is able to help you solve problems, how will it help others if you are being hesitant in data sharing?
That's actually a good point. That's actually a really good point. So you want to be able to use it, but you don't want your data to be used. So how is it going to help others as well? So it's helping you based off of the data that others fed it. So you should also be generous with that. So I agree with that to a point. So just as long as it's not personal information, that machine learning, just as it's helping you, let it help somebody else by learning from you. So within boundaries. Remember, as I said, leave the personal information and keep it professional, then it can help everybody. Then I also like a comment here by Gladys where she's saying, I feel like sometimes I run to AI tools for things that I would have solved by thinking and using problem solving skills. That's true. That's the danger of AI. Sometimes it's like, oh my goodness, this has been able to solve this for me, that you start becoming lazy. Remember, I said don't become lazy. AI is just supposed to make you more efficient so that you can focus on more strategic things, but you should not make you lazy that, you know what, today I want to do this project. AI, give me the solution for. No, don't become lazy, because if you don't use your mind, then you use it or lose it. You'll start becoming less sharp if you're not using your mind. So don't run to it for even the simplest of things. Use it for things where you need to save up on your time to focus on more strategic things, but don't run to it for the easiest of things like AI. I want to what? To wash my clothes in 10 minutes. Come on, simple things. Don't use it for the simplest of things. Use it for things that will get you time to focus on strategic things. Yeah.
Yeah, there
Um,
is a write to that by
yeah.
Chris Kipkemei. Is saying human thinking will shrink and so will the brain become less engaged. What do you think? Too much? Like Gladys has told us that she runs to AI even even in simple things.
Absolutely. Yeah, your brain cells will shrink. As I said, if you don't use it, you lose it. You must use your brain muscles. So try as much as possible to use it just for to eliminate the need for the simplest of items and focus on strategy, but don't become a slave to AI. So use it when you need it to give you some information, use it to analyze data, but don't use it as now, this is my companion. I'm never going to be able to think ever again, because if you don't use it, you lose it. So you still need to be able to engage your mind actively.
Very good. Have you come to the end of your slides or decks, as
Yes,
Americans
yes.
call it? Oh,
So to wrap
right.
up, yes, AI is a very important tool that we all need to embrace. So don't be a dinosaur. Please use AI, but use it ethically. Make sure that you're using AI to eliminate administrative tasks and focus on strategic things. Whether you're running a business, whether you're leading a team in HR, use it to ensure that the more admin things are taken care of and you can focus on strategy. Remember that it's ever evolving, so you must keep up with the trends. And it also means that you must be able to go and learn about it, whether it's a free course or whether it's a paid course. You even have to learn how to prompt. So sometimes it's not as simple as like, do X, Y. You actually, there's a formula, there's a method to the madness. There's a formula where you will get the best out of AI by learning how to prompt it, learning how to make chain links to it. So make sure you invest in that. You don't have to learn how to code with AI, but you need to learn how to do the right prompt, because garbage in, garbage out. So you must embrace it, and then it will make your whole process a lot faster. It will free up your time to do a lot more things. Sometimes people ask themselves, oh my goodness, how are these people able to do 10 things? But it's because they have eliminated themselves from having to do the routine admin tasks to focus on strategic things. So remove the things that you don't need to be doing every day and then focus on the strategic things. Use AI and it will make you a lot more efficient. So I think I'd like to wrap up on that note. And as I mentioned, I'm a journalist. I'm also an author of the book Bounce Back Babe. So a lot of people usually come to me about writing. They want to become authors and they ask themselves, okay, how do I go about it? Remember, I said AI is not going to write you your book. There's a method to doing it, but it can make the whole process a lot easier. So if you also want to get into that field, I am always available to help people write their books. And I have a special offer for all the people on this webinar tonight. If you want a free HR AI toolkit. So if you're in HR and you want that AI toolkit, a basic form of how to go on about it, I have an offer for you. If you buy a copy of my book, Bounce Back Babe, this week, then I will send to you a copy of that free HR AI toolkit that can get you started in your HR AI journey with some prompts. So for beginners, there are some 3 ChatGPT prompts that will make your whole life a lot easier. So there are payment details if you want to buy a copy of my book, and delivery is available countrywide, and delivery is actually same day. So once you order the book, then you will get it same day, and you will get that toolkit. So make sure you can reach out to me if you also want help in writing your book. If you want help when it comes to AI, we can do a discovery call. And I want to just wish you a good journey as you use AI, because it can make your life a lot easier when used ethically and used wisely, and still ensuring that you're engaging your mind. Then everything becomes a lot easier.
Thank you, Claire. I can see Miss D is saying the danger I'm seeing with AI is that with time we become the robots whilst the AI becomes more humanized.
That's where we say, when you're using AI mindlessly. If you use AI mindlessly, then yes, you'll become the robot. But if you use it wisely and in an ethical way, then it just makes your whole life a lot easier. I had seen somebody had raised their hand. Someone, I think Derek or something, has he still raised his hand? If he has, you can unmute your mic. And yeah, I can see there's a hand up here. He can unmute his mic and just and speak. Uh, Let me allow him to talk. Derek, you can unmute your mic and make your comment or ask your question.
Hi, everyone. Am I
Hello.
audible?
Yes, you are.
You are.
Yeah, thank you very much for this very insightful conversation on AI. I see there is a lot of pessimism on use of the tool, and I would like to encourage my fellow human resource practitioners that indeed we need to move away from the previous times whereby we were using a lot of books. I personally found HR boring because it has a lot of things that you have to log in work or plans, log in this, log in that. But with the existence now of AI, I think it makes your work a bit more easier because you don't have to think a lot. I mean, we have so much that we're dealing with. Some of us are parents. You're a student somewhere, and it helps you with the research. It's just a prompt. I mean, if you want to know about a job description of a certain role that you need in an organization, then you just prompt it and it is going to give you all the information. I don't see anything that is wrong with that. It's more like Google, actually, just that it is going to give you information from, so like that is much more refined than what Google is actually giving you. So for me, it is just to allay people's fears that even while you want it to help you, let it help others by you inputting that information. Someone had also said that there are some teams that are running to AI with their problems. And I'll tell you, some people are introverted and are not able to share their problems with others. So AI comes in as something that is quite useful. I myself have input, some personal challenges, and I've gotten some really good advice. It has given me books to read, to overcome some challenges. So I would actually advise that where necessary, let us use AI because it is here to stay. It has come and there is no running away from it. It is a change that we have to accept and see how to move forward with. That is my submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Derek.
much.
Thank you, Derek. There's a question by my good friend Saul. Could you please say something about artificial intelligence policy at the workplace? In which department will it be domiciled? What are your thoughts?
Yes, that's a good question, actually. So AI policy, there are a number of organizations that already have these AI policies. There are even organizations that have chief AI officers, not in Kenya per se so much, other than some tech organizations that have some sort of title like that. But this is a function of both the legal department as well as the technology department, IT. So because, as I said, there's the data protection aspect of it. There are legal implications of using AI. Like in the media, when you're using an AI generated image, you must say that this is AI generated. And you'll see with a lot of social media platforms, there are also places where you should say, was this AI generated? Or in some form, did you use AI in some form, way, shape, or form? So legal. So there must be the legal department and the tech department that work together in creating that AI policy, because there are a lot of legal implications. And sometimes you can find yourselves in the wrong side of the law if you're not using it wisely and you're not using it legally and you don't understand how the law relates to the use of AI. So data protection issues and the formulation of some of these issues. So legal as well as the tech departments are where that AI policy are domiciled.
There is a question by Grace. Is AI able to manage attendance records for employees in a situation whereby you have clock-in reports to be analyzed by AI?
Yes, they are. And that's, oh my goodness, yes. AI is so powerful and it can do that for you so simply, but that's where I said you need to understand how to prompt, because if you do your prompting wrong, then you'll keep on saying, but this AI can't help me. But yes, it can actually do that employee records for you, but you must understand and learn how to prompt it properly. And that's why that HR AI toolkit is very important there. So if you want it, get a copy of my book and I'll give you some of those prompts. So you must be able to know your organization, know their needs, and then when you prompt it, it actually does everything for you. And then that's why I also said, remember I said there's the free AI versions and there are the paid ones. Some of these prompts can only work very well when you get the paid version. So there are some people who are like, oh, ChatGPT, I've been using it for the longest time, but it can't do the XYZ because you're using the free version. There's no free lunch. If you want some of these advanced prompts, you get the paid version of these things. Sometimes I think it's about 2K per month or something, but what it does for you, you can't imagine, because it frees up your time and it does things that are so complex that you're like, oh my goodness, my time is now freed up to do stuff, the strategic stuff that I'm talking about. So yes, it can do that for you, as long as you get the prompts right, and you need to understand whether you will need the paid version of the AI tool or not.
By the way, you're right. I could encourage people to get interested with prompt engineering, because I'm told that is where the meat of artificial intelligence lies, is how you instruct the applications to bring you the right answers. There is a question by Dennis, not really a question. Dennis Micheka, I have used the AI in generating documents, but every time I change my wish, it says I am absolutely right. I don't know, that is where hallucination comes in. Comment on that.
Every time, yeah, that's sometimes it's a bit of hallucination, and sometimes it's a factor of how you prompted it. So you say, okay, give me this and this solution, and then it tells, actually you're right. So it comes also down to your prompting. If you're prompting things, if you're very general, then you're going to get very general answers. So this is what I always say with AI. If you want to get the best out of it, you must be as specific as possible. So I want to write, let's say you want to write a book about training in change management. Don't just write, I'm interested in writing a book on change management in Kenya. Can you give me suggested topics that would be beneficial for Kenyans? That's so basic. That's so general. If it will come up with two things, and then you go ahead and say, so if I'm right, you're saying that the most important thing for people in change management is that they fear it. It will say, yes, you're correct, because you're so general. You must go down to it as organic, as granular as possible. So I'm trying to write a book on change management, and these are the three things that I find Kenyans find very concerning. The kind of organization size in most Kenyan SMEs is about 50 to 100 employees, and many of them usually have this salary. So you must get as granular as that. Then AI will help you. So avoid generalities, and then it will work for you. So sometimes it's hallucination, but sometimes it's because you're too general. So you're not going to get what you need.
I can see Francis Kangure. Dr. Francis Kangure has said, this is so informative. Many thanks, Claire. I must buy that book so that I can get that toolkit. I can see Dr. Rebecca Ann Maina has said, as a lecturer, I can confirm that I utilize AI to engage my learners. I can see my friend Kangura has said, prompt engineering. Then I can see Mata Yator, which is the best AI tool for AI function?
That depends on what you want to do. It depends on what sector you are in, and it depends what you want to do. For some people, it's ChatGPT, the paid version. For some people, it's Perplexity. For some people, it's Mind Journey. It depends on what you're trying to achieve. There are people who are maybe, let's say, in graphics, they might find Mind Journey is more important. So it depends on what field you want. There are different AI tools that work best for different sectors. So you must know, okay, I'm in this sector. What are the needs that I need fulfilled? Once you know that, then you will know which is the best AI tool for you. But ChatGPT is good. Mind Journey is good. Perplexity is also good, but they serve different purposes depending on what you want the outcome to be.
Thank you, Claire. There is a question by Fluff here. Are you able to self-learn on how to use AI just like we learn on Google? Is it possible?
Yes. Yes, you can learn by yourself. You can learn prompt engineering. Remember, I said sometimes it's just trial and error. But as I said, take a course, whether it's a free course. There are a lot of free courses on AI right there. I did a certificate. It was a paid certificate, but there are some free courses that I've seen online that are actually pretty good to give you a beginner's understanding of how to prompt properly. Because as I said, if you don't write the right prompt, you're doing zero work. So there are a lot of courses out there that you can get for free on prompt engineering and understanding the basics of AI. And then from there, you can build on it. So just go online. There are LinkedIn courses, there are courses on Coursera and so on and so forth. Very many free courses that can give you the basics. And then from there, you can move on.
There's something I want to remind people that you said that data is oil, artificial intelligence is the what?
Refinery.
The refinery. I can see
Yes.
Ms. D has said, well done on this discussion. Time to embrace AI. I'm self-taught AI solopreneur out of necessity, burnout.
I like that, out of necessity. So let's not get to the point of burnout. Let's use AI to make our work simplified so that we can free up our time for important things that are professional and even other things.
Very good. Brian Mwenda is asking suggestion on where I can get paid AI courses in Kenya certifications. Where, an idea where he can do AI?
You can do paid courses. There are universities that offer courses, not a degree, but there are courses that are available in a lot of Kenyan universities and also online, like the LinkedIns. You can do that. So go and look at the major universities. A lot of them are offering like 6-week courses on AI, understanding AI, whether it's for business or for different things. Just look for what is most suitable for you, and then you can do it. Some are offering it just as AI, some are offering it as a unit, as part of a larger organizational transformation thing. So whether it's executive leadership, then there's a course on AI, using AI as an executive leader. Others is just purely AI. So go and look at the major universities and see the certificates that they're offering and see what is most applicable for you.
Thank you, Claire. I can see Dr. Selina Makoha is asking for your contacts. Grace, if you're there, you can jump in and say one or two.
My contacts are there.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Claire. It's nice to have you on this platform. And I have also learned a lot, and I will catch up on the bits that I missed. But it's amazing to see what AI can do. And yeah, let's keep learning. Let's keep learning. Richard.
Thank you. Claire, you can include your number if you want people to reach you.
Yes, you
or
can
email.
use. Yes, you can use the email sent there. Let me give you a number that you can also reach me on via WhatsApp. So for WhatsApp, the number you can use is 0746 593 061. You can send me a message there. You can book a discovery call, whether it's for AI or writing books or anything to do with media and that sort of thing. And we can take the discussion further. You can reach me on email there, claire@clairemunde.com, on LinkedIn, on X, on Instagram, and we can take the discussion further. Thanks so much, Grace, for putting this together. Always very useful conversations that you have. And as I said, I'm always very happy that you're very inclusive when it comes to ensuring that all people are able to follow the conversation no matter where they are.
It looks like you will have to repeat the number or write it alternatively.
Maybe it's easier to type it on the chat.
Let me type it on the chat.
Yeah.
Let me just put it for everyone.
Jacinta, you can be putting the link to Get It Right platform so that people can join, so that they can continue with the conversation that has happened today. Jacinta, you can put the platform link. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the end of this discussion, don't forget to recommend Atara Solutions to your organizations and friends and colleagues when it comes to issues to do with HR. It is a house of so many things: training, team building, performance management, recruitment, HR audits, and all that. That is the biggest pay you can give to Atara Solutions Getting It Right on Tuesday. Claire, you can prepare for your parting shots. What do you want people to remember tonight by?
Thank you.
So
Thank you so
forget.
much.
All right.
Go ahead.
No, just finish. Just finish.
Okay. Thanks so much. Thanks, Grace, for putting this together. I'm so happy to be here with your good people, very engaged members here. And thanks for all that you're doing, really bringing information that matters to people, and for your mentorship program. That's very important, that people really need to understand the importance of mentorship. So thanks for that. And if there's anything I want you to get out of this, is that AI will not replace you, but it will replace you if you're unable to use AI. So make sure that you use AI to do the simplest administrative tasks and focus your time on strategic tasks. So it's not hard. You just need to start, learn the art of prompt engineering, and AI will take your work, whether it's your work, your business, to the next level. That's all I'd like to say. Thank you to everyone, and thanks for being very engaged and participating in the chat section.
Thank you. This is where we send flowers to Claire Munde and wish her all the best in what she does. Thank you for creating time to be here. Thank you very much, Atara Solutions and Grace and team. Jacinta, I hope you have put the link to the platform so that people can join. I have been your host, Richard J. Magoma, HR professional. I train public speaking. I have a course that is ongoing. If you wish to get into it, you can get in touch so that you can also learn how to engineer your speaking.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, please.
Those of us that are in Uganda, we sidelined on this offer.
No.
No, not at all. You can get the book from Nuria. I'll put it in the chat box. They deliver globally. So I'll put the link there. You can get your copy there, and then you can get your discovery call. So you're not sidelined wherever you are in the world.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Have a good night. See you on Tuesday, where we'll have another amazing topic that demystifies certain concepts in business and career development. Have a lovely night. Richard J. Magoma. Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. Thanks, Grace. Thanks, Idande, and everybody.
Thank you all. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.